faith, grace, love, connection is righteousness. Well, good morning, everybody. You know what day it is. It's Friday, it's Friday. I sing the song of Friday from me to you. Ha! Friday! Yeah! Well, it is Friday. I like Friday. I like every day. This is Friday. Get your books on Numbers That Preach, and get your book at E.W. Bullinger's God's Number in Scripture. Wonderful resources. Wonderful, wonderful resources. And we also do some numbers here. We do the prophetic. We do a deep study into the Word, and we do numbers. It's really cool. I like what I do, and I hope you like what we do together, and that's so cool. So what we've been doing this week is breaking down Genesis 6:3 and determining what it's actually telling us about the 120 years. So are we looking at 120 years of what? The subject of this verse, God's Spirit striving with man. Let's take a look at a couple of the most pertinent words in the Hebrew of the Strong's Concordance. The word strive used here in the Hebrew is the word H1777 in the Strong's, which is din dun, D-I-Y-N, D-U with the two dots on top of the U, N, or you could just pronounce it as D-E-N, D-O-O-N, Din Dun. To be at strife with, to strive with as in law, to strive with as in law. Remember, God is a just God, justice, the law, the judgment seat. You get the idea that this is all about the law of His kingdom. The law of His kingdom. To contend with, this word strive, which is used, to be at strife with, to strive with as in law, to contend with, to execute judgment, to minister judgment. Get that? So now we see a deeper understanding of this verse just based off the word in the Hebrew, din dun. So God is saying that He is going to lawfully administer and execute judgment. Now the word translated shall not, right before strive, okay, is the word lo, L-O-L-O-L-O-H, from the Hebrew, in the Strong's H3808. Otherwise, out of a truth. Otherwise, out of a truth, without ignorance, will not conceal. Otherwise, out of a truth, without ignorance, will not conceal. And now we move on to the word. Let me see. Always. The word always, okay? Which is H5769, always. Olon, olon. O-L-A-W-M, olam, olam. So you say that twice. To conceal the vanishing point of time out of his mind of the future. So there's so much more. When you look at the words in the Hebrew, there's so much more than what was translated. You can go through and you can just see that word always somewhere when they went, oh, this is the easy way to do it. But it doesn't tell the story. When you look at this word olam, olam, conceal the vanishing point of time out of his mind of the future. What was he doing? He was fixing to bring judgment. He was setting a time that judgment would come, and it had to do with man's future. So let's see what we get when we put these three words from the Hebrew in the Strong's together. Here we go. My spirit, otherwise, out of truth, without ignorance, will not conceal the vanishing point of time out of his mind in the future, making lawful judgment and lawfully administering and executing that judgment. I think we need to read that again. I think we're going to need to read that again. This is very pertinent to the fact that this has absolutely nothing to do with a longevity promise for mankind after the flood. This has to do with God's judgment coming on, and he has said it. He is very, very direct and poignant, and you can tell God is a little bit upset about this. Remember, he said, "Man, I am so upset about this. I repented for making man." In other words, he wanted to take a 180-degree turn and basically start over. That ain't good, folks. So keep it in context. And this really spells it out. My spirit, otherwise, out of truth, without ignorance, will not conceal the vanishing point of time out of his mind in the future. Okay, there was a vanishing point. He was going to vanish in the near future, and he set that time of 120 years is when that vanishing point in the future was going to take place. Making lawful judgment, here comes that flood, and lawfully administering and executing that judgment. Wiping everything out. So he's going to do it. Wipe everything out. That's the administering, the lawfully administering and executing of that judgment. Isn't there something? These are 3 Hebrew words, and we get all of that truth out of them. Well, this seems certainly to be lining up with the context of the chapter, does it not? That this is really a deep, hard-pressed warning, and he's telling us something very drastic is on his mind, and this is what's going to happen. And if you find that interesting, just wait till next week when we look at the word yom that is translated and yet his days, because that's going to really change things in this also. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. We got to find out on Monday. I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time.